We heard the gospel of the prodigal son, and the topic I would like to discuss today with you is the question what real love looks like. How does real love look like? We will see how love is manifested in God. We will see how we see it in the story of today, and eventually, of course, how we can practice it. Because that is the thing. Love is something we practice. Love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. Why is love not just a feeling, and why is it a choice? Well, if we think about it, what is love? To love someone means that you would like to see the other person grow, to be better, to flourish, to be successful. However, all those things are nice, but it doesn't come from the wind. For someone else to flourish, for someone else to heal, to become better, to succeed, there needs to be someone else who's going to make a sacrifice of his time, a sacrifice of his energy, a sacrifice of his ego in order to give it to the other. So we might be asked, do you love your mother? Yes, of course I love my mother. She's my mother, of course I love her. But when it comes down to my mother asking me to clean up my room, to do my homework, to get something from her, and I reject to make the sacrifice, then I'm not loving her. We think, oh, by default, because she's my mother, yes, I love her. No, love is manifested in sacrifice. You show your love for the other if you are willing to make sacrifice. And if you are not willing, then it's good that you say it, but it doesn't mean really anything. And that is the whole purpose of life, of what we see in God, in Jesus Christ. For us to live, for so much did God love the world that he gave his only begotten Son. For us to live, if we say God is love, all right, that's a nice quote, nice statement that God is love. But how do I know that he is love? Because he gave himself for me. He died so I may live. It's not just that he died so I may live, but also to give us an example that the whole purpose of life is to be like God, to be in God. Like we say, we are Christians. Therefore, we live like Christ. It's not like, all right, I do my prayers, I go to church when I have to, and if there's some spare money, I can give it to church. That's not the Christian life. The Christian life is not like, oh, I'm doing my work, I'm doing my studies. When I have time, I will pray. If there's time, I open my Bible. No, the whole purpose of being a Christian, having a relationship with God, or how we can have a relationship with God, is especially in those moments when it is hard to pray, when I am tired, that I then make the sacrifice in order to stand up and pray. Even if I'm busy and I have all the deadlines and all the tests and exams, especially then make the sacrifice, maybe of another hour of studying, to open up my Bible, because I love God more than I love my own bodily success here on earth. So that is one way of love. One way of love, and what true love looks like, is a conscious decision to sacrifice myself, even against my feelings. Again, love is not a feeling, because you will never feel the feeling to sacrifice yourself. It will never happen, by definition. The devil will make you feel uncomfortable. The devil will give you thoughts that, oh, but not now is the right time. Oh, well, if I say sorry, they will take advantage of me. So don't make yourself uncomfortable and say sorry. No, I go against that nature. I go against the devil to sacrifice my ego out of love, to say sorry, to look for the needs of others, and to have mercy on others. So love is a conscious decision to sacrifice my own needs, my own priorities, my own ego for the needs of the other out of love. Again, that is the Christian lifestyle. The Christian lifestyle is not, I do my prayers when I have time, I go to church, maybe give a lesson here and there. No, everything we do is a sacrifice of love. We, as servants, don't give just a lesson in church on Sunday. No, we sacrifice ourselves for our children. That is one way of love. But the other way of love, which we have seen today, is the love, maybe the exact opposite of it. The love of free will. We often also may hear it. To love is to give free will. Right? We hear that, also a nice statement. But why is that so? Why does love equal free will? Again, to say that I love someone, that I want to see the other person flourish and become better, who decides for that person what's the best for that person? Do I decide it or the other person decide it? We often may think, well, I love you, so you should be with me. You cannot leave me. And how can you leave me? And how can you treat me like that? How can you not come up to me? That's not love. That's ego. To love, again, is if the other person, I want the best for the other person. So if the other person says, I'm more happy with someone else, then I should give him the free will to choose what's best for him because I love him. So if I truly love the other person, I should be happy that he leaves me and goes with someone else, if I truly care about him. But that's not what happens. That's not maybe how we react. Oh, I feel a loss, I feel treated, so by definition, he is in the wrong. And because I love him or her, they need to be with me. They cannot leave me, they cannot choose someone else. No, to love is to let that person be free to choose to be with you or not. And here it is. And those two loves come together. I then sacrifice my need, my desire for that person. I sacrifice it. I put it aside in order to love the other person, to choose freely what he wants or does not want to do. And that is what happened today. The prodigal son wanted to get his part and went away. What does the father do? Or let's say, what did the father not do? Is he didn't go after him. He didn't go went there and said, no, you are not going to choose. You are not going to make decisions. I'm going to make it for you. You cannot go everywhere. You stay with me. And we think that's love. And a certain says, yes, love is eventually a balance between protecting someone from evil and also giving them the free will. And that's so beautiful about the Father. And that's how Christ and God deals with us even from the point of beginning. Like he created Adam and Eve, he created also the tree of life and the tree of good and evil, and he gave us the free will to choose. It was not a choice of doing good or doing bad. The choice Adam and Eve made was a choice of love. Did you love me? Did were you able to sacrifice your will to choose from me? And he gave us the free will to choose if we want to love God and to be with him in the presence in the paradise and to obey him or not to love him. He didn't prevent us. He gave us the free will. Yes, it eventually resulted to the fall. However, and then comes the second type of love, is that he came by himself to sacrifice himself to prevent that we will vanish for eternity. But still then, even though God sacrificed himself for us and prevented us from eternal damnation and eternal death, it is still on us today if we choose to go into heaven or not. He made it possible. That he died for our sins means that he made the door open for us to be able to enter, but still on us if we choose to enter it or not. He gave us the free will. And then the question remains, what is the balance? What is the balance between letting someone have his free will and being vulnerable to fall into sin and going after and preventing someone? The answer is wisdom. The answer is wisdom. Wisdom when you let someone free, and wisdom when you prevent someone from happening. And I think the critical factor which determines the wisdom is the following. The reason why we can't let someone freely go is because we are empty from ourselves. Because we are empty, we so much desire the presence of the other person. And that's why we cannot let the other person go. That's why we cannot even love the other. And here's the thing, we think we love them, we want them to be with us. No, we don't love them. We have a lack of love, and we search it in the other person to give it to us, and gets mad if he doesn't give it to us. But nobody is responsible for our love. Nobody can give us the love we truly seek except God himself. So eventually the answer is to pray and fast. No, but really, fasting helps us to practice this love. Why? Again, we said that love is you want the best for the other. Love is to give free will to the other. But also love is to sacrifice, to be able to give the other what he or she needs. And that's fasting. By fasting, I practice this love. By fasting, I've practiced to sacrifice my needs, to sacrifice my will in order to put the will of the other above of me. For example, I sacrifice 2 minutes of sleep to give God honor, to stand up and pray and give thanks, because I love God, not because it's a routine, because I have to. No, because I love God, I sacrifice my sleep in order to give it to others. Another example, if somebody comes up to me and asks me to help him with a certain situation, I sacrifice my free time, my evening going out, I sacrifice it, I fast from it, I don't eat it, I don't get it, sacrifice it in order to give it to the other person and help him and stand by him. Fasting is directly correlated to love, or that's the only thing and reason we fast, is to love God and to love others. But also in practicing the free will. Well, I am mad that the person went away and chose for someone else or chose another activity than mine. Well, then still I fast. I don't scream. I don't get mad. I hold myself. I deny myself. I sacrifice my need to be with the other person in order to let him go, to have his free will, and let him do the best what he or she sees fit. That is the story or the highlight I wanted to talk about the father of the prodigal son. That's an example of how God shows us love by giving us free will to choose for his love or not to choose for his love. And eventually an example for us also to let the other have his free will despite our own needs, and to sacrifice and to fast for my desire in order, again, to love God and to love the other. Glory be to God forever. Amen.